to go live. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the YouTube live stream. It's been a minute. I'm trying to think of the last time I did one of these bad boys. I don't think it was last week. I think it might have been the week before. Anyways, welcome. Yeah, it was the 18th, I think. Or was it over the weekend? Whatever. It was a while ago, and I'm glad to be here. Welcome. Welcome. We have a lot of things to go over. If you could let me know if you can hear me in the comment box, that would be great. I want to take care of any audio issues we have right away. Today, we are going to go over a few things, a few housekeeping things. We have a lot of very fun things to talk about first. And then we're going to get into answering your carnivore diet related questions. David says, I am loud and clear. Jen says loud and clear. Germinator says good to go. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Wonderful. Okay, so sound is good. Let me know in the comment section anything that's going on, questions that you have about the carnivore diet. We can get into some nitty gritty here. We have a little bit of time. If you are having any big wins with carnivore, if you have healed your metabolic health, if you have seen some, weight loss or whatever is going good for you, I want to know that too, because, we don't want to just talk about the problems we're having. We also want to talk about the wins. That is so, so important here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jenny. I've been doing a carnivore diet experiment since December of 2022, coming up on 2 years on the carnivore diet. Pretty incredible. Can't believe it. Lost almost 50 pounds so far at this point. And I have been sharing all of my data with you here on YouTube too. Blood work, arterial scans, DEXA scans, continuous glucose monitoring. I'm wearing a continuous ketone monitor right now. Lots of different things. So I'd like to share all of that information with you just to show you the actual hard data of how my health has improved with a carnivore diet. There's a lot of, misinformation out there about meat and how it's not a health food, how it's bad for you, or all this kind of stuff when it couldn't be further from the truth. So that is why I do what I do. And in the course of creating YouTube content, I have been able to meet all of you and heard so many just amazing stories of the healing power of the carnivore diet. So that is who I am. And let me know who you are. Tell me, where are you from? Where are you watching from? And then get those questions in. We are going to get to the questions after I do all of this. So be sure to get your questions in, and we're just going to go in the order that I get them. Okie dokie. Cool. So audio is good. We did the welcome. I want to mention that ButcherBox is the sponsor of today's video. This is a subscription meat service. Basically, you can curate a box, or you can have them curate a box for you. And you can get them as often as you like, once a month, every other month, whatever you want to do. They have pastured beef. They have grass-fed, grass-finished beef, pork-raised, crate-free, wild-caught seafood, organic chicken, lots and lots of really good stuff over there. And you can build whatever kind of box you want. Right now, they have a deal going on, I think, until the 6th, where new members will receive their choice of free chicken breast, salmon, or ground beef free with every single box for a year. So that's the deal that's going on right now. And I know they have a few other really good deals coming up in the month of October. So that link is in the description. Be sure to check them out. Let's move into some other fun stuff. I am writing a book. It's been a lot of work. I'm still currently writing it as we speak, but I want to include your stories in this book. I have a whole chapter that's just testimonials. So I want to, if you want to be in this book, if you want to help other people share your carnivore journey and try to help other people when they are just starting out carnivore, I would really love to include your story. You will get a free copy of the book when it is released, and you'll be able to help thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So if you would like to be involved, I have a link in the description of this. It is just to my email. You can send me, 500 to 1,000 words of how carnivore has changed your life. If you have photos, they would need to be like, if you have like before and after photos or something like that, like maybe you had some kind of skin condition or some kind of thing where you need to show the before and after, whatever it is. The photos need to be very high quality because this is going to be printed. So they'd need to be like JPEG or PNG. You can send me those as well. And then I'll just have a form for you to sign and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would love to include, I'm trying to include about 8 to 10 testimonials in the book. So if you would like to share your story, let me know. I'm letting you guys know first, you and the people in the carnivore community. I'm not like releasing this on my videos right now, because I really want to take advantage of the people, that are like diehard. You guys are the ones that come to these live streams. You are the ones that are really, really hardcore into carnivore. So I want to make sure that you guys get the first pick. You're the first pick of who, I'm including in this book. So I appreciate your support, and I want to, show it in any way I possibly can. So thank you again. Send me an email if you want to be included in this book. Next up, second channel, Jenny Mitich, etc. We're already up to over 300 subscribers. That's awesome. And I just released my Halloween decor video over there, so be sure to check that out. I've got a link in the description of this live to my second channel. I think I also put links to all of my other Halloween decor videos that are actually on this channel. If that's something you're into, head on over and check it out. It's really a good video. I'm really happy with how it turned out this year. Also, Hack Your Health Conference is coming up in November of 2025. So not next month, but a year from now. And I know that's pretty far away. It's going to be in Tampa Bay, Florida this year, next year, I should say. But if you know that you're going, you should probably pick up your tickets now, because I have huge discounts for you. So the tickets right now are $199 for the entire weekend. But with my coupon code Jenny Mitich, you can get $100 off your ticket price. So you'd only pay $99. So if you're already planning on going, might as well save as much money as you can. This is the deepest discount to this conference that you can get. So I think it goes until Halloween. Yeah, October 31st. And take advantage of it. I put the coupon code in the description, so you can go to that. I will definitely be going to the Hack Your Health conference, and hopefully we'll be able to do a meetup or something like that while we're out there. So that'll be super fun. I'm actually kind of excited that it's in Florida too. It was in Austin this year, but in Florida, if it's in Florida, that's close-ish to where some of our family lives. So we could bring the kids down. They could just, go and play, and then we can hang out in Tampa for a few days while we're at the conference. So I think that'll be super fun. Next update. I just added coaching call hours to my Calendly. It is linked in the description. I have one-on-one coaching calls available for you, a few different times available. I think I've got my dates opened up through the 12th right now of October. So if you need help, if you really want to dive into the minutia of what's going on with you, you want to look at some blood work numbers, or kind of figure out which version of carnivore you should do, if you're running into issues, whatever it is, you can schedule a coaching call with me. So that is available for you now. The Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community over on Circle, I think we're up to almost 600 members over there. Awesome group of people doing carnivore together. We do a monthly live stream over there with the whole community, and then the premium members get access to weekly live streams with me, along with a twice every month Zoom call session, and lots of different spaces, recipes, daily meals, all this different stuff. So in the description of this live, we've got links to both the free and the premium membership of the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community, so you can get some accountability, some support in your carnivore journey. Loving the group over there. So before we get into your questions, I wanted to talk a little bit about our September challenge that we did over in the carnivore community. I'll talk about mine first. So for the month of September, I had a couple of goals. I wanted to continue with my movement consistency. So I work out 3 to 4 days per week strength training. And then I'll also do like the Stairmaster. And then I also like to walk. So I just wanted to be able to stay consistent with that through the month of September. And I was able to do that. I accomplished my goal. There was one week where I kind of had a bit of a slowdown in my movement because I was doing a sardine fast. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But overall, very happy with the September goals. The other goal for September was to do some fasting. So I did 2 24-hour water fasts in the beginning of the month. And then I thought I would give a sardine fast a shot. Sardine fasts are very popular in the low carb community. I've seen so many different people doing it. Dr. Boz is big into it. I saw the carnivore doctor, Dr. Elisa Wiedemann, Courtney Luna, Serena over at Carnivore Revolution. So many people doing sardine fasts. So I figured, why the heck not? Let me just give it a shot. I didn't think I could do it. Not the biggest fan of sardines, or at least I didn't think I was, until I found these sardines here. These are called Baltic Gold. I actually got the very first jar of these in Seattle when I went on a trip with my niece out there at Pike's Market, but I was able to find them in my area at World Market. I cracked these open and wow, they're really, really good. They're smoked. And they are in rapeseed oil, which is canola. So that's not cool, but I just drain them and rinse them really good. And man, these were kind of a game changer for me. So after I tried these, I was like, oh, I think I can do a sardine fast. What the heck? So I did. I did my very first sardine fast in the month of September. I did a 7-day for my very first one. I just wanted to see how long I could go. When did I start that? Let's see. I started it on Thursday the 12th, and I ended it on Thursday the 19th. I started off at 154.6 pounds and I ended at 148.2. So I lost 6.5 pounds. That's incredible. It wasn't as hard as I thought. And I was probably eating the equivalent of 6 to 7 cans of sardines per day. I also did, in the very beginning, I did some exogenous ketones, and then I was drinking my Element sparkly water because I'm obsessed with these things. But other than that, that's all I ate. And man, you know what? It was fun. I actually enjoyed it. And the weight loss was awesome. Now, I gained back a few pounds, of course, when I started eating regularly again. But I have broken through that weight loss stall that I had been experiencing. I'm now solidly like 150 to 151. So that's awesome. There was some sustained, actual true weight loss. I'm getting a DEXA scan tomorrow. So I'm very curious to see if like how much of that was lean mass and how much of it was fat mass. Now, the cool thing about a sardine fast is it's technically a protein sparing modified fast, which means that you're eating enough protein to spare your lean mass, your muscles from wasting away while fasting. That can be a concern for regular water fasting. You really want to tap into the fat stores, but maintain your muscle mass. That's important. So that's kind of, why a sardine fast works. But yeah, it was great. So I'm actually on day 2 of my second sardine fast as we speak. And I just wanted to share with you some of the sardines that I've been loving because, a lot of people are like, sardines, but I found some really good ones at World Market. So of course, the Baltic Gold, these are the first. These are $5 a jar. I'm typically eating 1 jar of these per day on a sardine fast. And then I found some other fancy schmancy ones that I really love that taste so good. I've found that the smoked sardines are best for me. So this brand right here, Mitich, lightly smoked sardines. These are from Spain. This is in a Spanish olive oil. If you don't want to have the oil, you can just drain and rinse them. It's not a big deal. You can also just do sardines in water, but I find those to be kind of dry. So I like to do them with oil. I love this brand. Yes, this one, Minerva, sardines in olive oil with lemon. Holy smokes, those are amazing. Minerva also has another one. It is spiced olive oil with pickles. I haven't tried this one yet, but I'm excited to. I love this brand, Nuri spiced sardines in olive oil. Super delicious. There's like a kind of like a spicy Middle Eastern flavor to this one. So good. I already did the Matisse. And then these two are from Fishwife. This one right here is sardines with preserved lemon. And this one is sardines with hot pepper. These are all, a little bit more expensive and specialty. These are $5 a jar. These are $5 a can. I think the Nuri and the Minerva are both $6. Oh, no, this one's $5 and this one's $6. And then the Fishwifes are really pricey. I don't buy these very often. I think they were like $8.99 a can or $9.99, something like that. But they're good. And then I also get these Wild Pacific sardines from Costco. This was $10 for 6 cans. But there's sardines all over the place. Just get what works best for you, what you can actually eat. When I'm doing a sardine fast now, I actually like the taste of sardines. Cold day in hell. Who would have thunk it? But I'm going to be experimenting the month of October with a lot of sardine fasting. So because I'm writing this book, I I have a lot of recipes to test because, the first half of the book is the in-depth guide to the carnivore diet, but the second half is like 80 recipes. And some of them are new. A lot of them are new. So I've been having to test and taste and test and taste lots of different recipes. And I don't want to balloon up, during this testing time. So I think what I'm going to do is cook on the weekends, test recipes on the weekends. And then during the week, I'm going to do sardine fasting. That is my goal for the month of October. I also would like to continue my movement goal, though I would really like to start walking more. So that is going to be my October challenge. So for you guys, I want you to come up with what's your October challenge going to be? Have you had any difficulties lately? Have you had anything going on that you would like to, tighten up a bit? Or is everything going really well and you just want to stay consistent? Do you want to start carnivore for the month of October? October can be a kind of a hairy time to start carnivore because you got all the Halloween stuff, and then you're coming into Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it can also be a really good time because then you can get over all of the sugar cravings and all of that kind of stuff and go into the holiday season. Instead of gaining a ton of weight over the holidays, you could be losing and feeling so much better. So there's lots of things that you can come up with for your October goals. Yes, yes, yes. So that is all of my stuff. Oh, I put links to all of these sardines in the description if you want to check them out. That's all the stuff I had for housekeeping. So I'm going to get back into the chats here. If you have a question, please put it into the chat box. We are going to get to all of your questions if I can today. We have some time. And if you have a big win on carnivore, let me know that too. If you're having difficulties, let me know that. I want to help you. That is why we are here today. So Mrs. Hooligan Fish, hi everyone. I had a huge carnivore win last week. After 9 years, 36 spinal procedures, and countless steroid injections, I don't have to do that anymore. Thank you, Jenny, for all the help. That is amazing. I wish I had a clap track. Great work. I love hearing that. That is so cool. And wasn't it also that now you've been cleared to drive again after not driving for some years? Incredible. Incredible. Rick. Hi, Jenny. Got some wins, eased into carnivore, lost 3 inches on my belly. Nostrils are open after years, and anxiety got a little better. Waiting on medical advice on how my meds are going to affect me on carnivore. Wonderful. That's awesome. I love these wins. And, I love how specific you are too. The nostrils are open after years. That's a big deal. I know some of my family members had to use Afrin for many years, but then with carnivore and all of that stuff, they no longer have to. So it's great. As far as waiting on the medical advice on how your meds are going to affect you on carnivore, I think that's very smart. Always work with your physician. If you are on medication, do not go off medication on your own. You really need to make sure that you are doing that with guidance. But yeah, I love that. Being proactive. Wonderful job, Rick. Let's see here. We've got lots and lots of people watching here. Here's Michelle. I eat plenty of protein, but my hair is falling out like crazy. I've lost at least half my hair. Can fats being too low cause this? Okay, so there's so many things that can cause hair loss. The number one thing, if your hair is falling out, especially as a woman, is thyroid. I had my hair fell out, let's see, about 30% of it last year from April to June 2023. It was really, really bad. And originally I thought it was telogen effluvium, which is when your hair follicles go into a dormant phase after a very stressful time. It could be childbirth, death in the family, high stress job, a surgery. It could be an extreme diet change. It could be lots and lots of different things. So I originally thought it was because I had just had twins 18 months before, and I had switched over to, carnivore, very, very low carb, going from a moderate high carb. I think it was 200 to 300 grams of carbs per day, but that was all coming from fruits and vegetables. I wasn't eating ultra processed foods. I was eating healthy. So that's what I thought it was at first. But now I have been diagnosed very recently, the past 2 months, with Hashimoto's hypothyroid. And one of the main symptoms of thyroid conditions is hair loss. I went into my doctor when I was losing all that hair. I had them test, whatever she would test, which was only TSH. And she said, oh, your TSH is normal. It's not thyroid, which is complete bullshit. You have to get TSH, free T4, free T3, reverse T3, TPO, which is an antibodies, and then thyroglobulin antibodies in order to get a full picture of what your thyroid health is. So for you, Michelle, the very first thing I would recommend is getting yourself a full thyroid panel. Your TSH could be normal, but you could still have hypothyroid. That's the most common, is hypo, which is low thyroid function. When you have Hashimoto's, that's an autoimmune thyroid issue. That just means that you have antibodies in your system. Your body is attacking your own thyroid. It's not that your thyroid doesn't work. It's that your body thinks it's a foreign agent and it's trying to attack it. So if you have any kind of fatigue that's accompanying this hair loss, definitely do a full thyroid panel. If it is telogen effluvium, you're eating enough protein, too low of fat, sure. I mean, like if you are eating very, very low fat on a carnivore diet, you can run into all kinds of issues. You have to make sure you're keeping that fat high. A carnivore diet is a high fat, moderate protein diet. But if the hair loss has already started and it is like telogen effluvium or something like that, unfortunately, it's just going to fall out until it's done and then go back into a dormant phase, and then it will start regrowing. My hair is all regrown from the thyroid issue, and I haven't had any more hair loss, thank God. That's terrible and very scary. But yeah, I don't know if you're tracking your protein or your fats or things like that. But yeah, you want to make sure you're trying to get, minimum 60% fat, 40% protein. But I mean, 70% fat to 30% protein is typically where I say to start, because you want to make sure you're getting enough fat. Fat is basically just fuel though. But if you're not getting enough fat, you could be stressing your body. So MZ says, very expensive diet. Actually, that's a common misconception. It's not. It actually isn't. So I have 2 videos actually on my channel. Can you do carnivore on an extremely low budget? Because I get this question and comment a lot here on YouTube. And I wanted to show that that's not actually true. So I fed one person for 1 month for $100. Man, did I find some deals. That was the first one. And then I fed a family of 4 for $300 for 1 month. Again, found some great deals. So there's some ways to lower your costs. First and foremost, if you're looking at your current grocery list, what's on it? If you're eating a standard American diet, it's a bunch of junk. The nutrient density of that food is just not even worth the price you're paying. So if you're going to cut all that stuff out and only focus on meat, eggs, and maybe for some people some dairy, that alone is going to probably, leave you where exactly you're spending right now, at the very least. Then you're not going to be eating as often. When you're on an ultra low carb diet, you're only eating, most people are eating twice a day. You're not snacking all the time. You're not hungry all the time. You don't have those crazy, blood sugar crashes all the time. So that in and of itself, you're saving money, just you're not eating as much. The nutrient density of the food you are eating is very high, very high. So as far as like nutrients per dollar, whoa. I mean, you can't beat the carnivore diet when it comes to that. Some tips for saving money. Last year prices were pretty high. This year prices have been declining, so that's good. There's a lot of price gouging from the big corporations, grocery corporations, that they're artificially keeping prices high. It's very frustrating, but they're making lots of money. So anyways, that's a whole different topic. But what I like to do is I go early in the morning, and I try to find the 30 to 50% off marked down meat, the meat that needs to be sold by that day. I buy so much meat that way. I have a whole deep freezer full of this discounted meat. You just freeze it and then, unfreeze it when you're ready. I live in the Chicagoland area, so our main grocery stores around here are Jewel. Holy smokes. Jewel has such good meat sales almost every week. Sometimes they'll have they just had a filet mignon for, I think it was like $5 a steak or something like that. They have these pork deals where they have like probably this big. It's probably like 20, 25 pounds of pork. It's like 3 pork roasts and a bunch of pork chops. They wrap it up and they charge like 50 cents a pound. I found pork shoulders there. It was 40, was it 99 cents a pound? And then they were marked down 50%. So it was 49 cents a pound. I have like 5 of those in my freezer right now. I go to another great way to save money is buying bulk meat. So you can go to Costco and get a whole ribeye. Now ribeye is more expensive, of course, but it's like right now $10.99 to $11.99 a pound. Very high quality. You cut that into your own steaks. Wow, amazing. You can buy half a cow from a farmer or a whole cow, whatever. If you have enough room, you can do that. That's a great way to save money. I think it averages out to like $3 or $4 a pound, and you have tons of different cuts. So many different ways. Then you think about, the, non-dietary cost savings that you're going to have. A lot of people get off the medications that they're on. Meds are very expensive. If you're a type 2 diabetic, how much are you spending a month on insulin? That alone, you can heal type 2 diabetes with an ultra low carb diet. Type 2 diabetes can be, I don't want to say cured, it can go into remission. You can get your blood glucose under control and eliminate that expense. There's lots of people with high expenses for medications for psychiatric conditions that have been able to, with a doctor's guidance, go off of those because their psychiatric conditions are under control with a carnivore diet. It's incredible. So you can save money that way. Health insurance costs, life insurance costs, not having to go to the doctor all the time. So healthcare costs are like a huge expense for all of us, especially here in America, because our insurance prices are just out of control. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of different ways you can save. So yeah, okay, if you're just going to look and say, oh yeah, carnivore is really expensive, it's actually not. We're saving money compared to how we were eating before. And yeah, sorry, that was a tangent. That was a tangent. Sorry. Everyone is saying hello. Rick says, can't wait for your book. I can't wait to be done writing it. I'm so tired. It's going to be good. I'm really excited about it. The whole reason I do YouTube is because I want to help people. I want people to be healthy. I want people to be able to, reach their goals and do what they want to do. And this book is going to be, it's one way that I'm able to give back to all of you that have given so much to me. So I love it. Okay, let's move into this. Robert, my blood work from beginning of September shows my overall cholesterol is 255. My triglycerides are 409. Okay, that's pretty high. I started ketovore on September 16th. Good. My doctor quickly talked about statins. I go back in December. Okay, great. So when you go on a carnivore diet, ketovore, an ultra low carb diet, lots of things can happen. First of all, triglycerides typically decline. You would like to see them under 100. And again, guys, I'm not a doctor. This is just from reading, from talking to a lot of the low carb doctors in this space, because I do interviews with people all the time. This is all information that you can find very easily, like goals of what you should, be aiming for with your blood work. So don't take this as medical advice. This is just what I'm looking for when I'm looking in blood work numbers, and you're going to get similar advice from a physician if they know what they're talking about. So triglycerides, you want them to be under 100, especially on a low carb diet. Why is this doing this? Why are you dimming? Are you not plugged in? Hold on one second, guys. For some reason, that is not charging. There we go. My computer wasn't charging. Triglycerides, 100 or less. That's what you want. You want your HDL cholesterol to be above 40, but I think above 50 is really what you want to do. Your total cholesterol and your LDL cholesterol can be doing lots and lots of things. I personally don't even really look at those anymore. I look at the triglycerides and the HDL cholesterol, but I do look at some other different blood work. I would want to know what your fasting glucose is, your fasting insulin, and your A1C, because blood sugar and insulin resistance is the main driver of metabolic dysfunction. If you have very high triglycerides like you do, well, you did in September before you started, 409, I can tell you right now that you have insulin resistance. That's a common red flag to tell you that you have insulin resistance. So, Sure, statins are a great way to lower your overall cholesterol and things like that, but you can also just do it with food and not have the same side effects. So I personally would never take a statin. I don't think statins are, I think most people don't need to take them. I think they are warranted in a few limited cases. I would never say that they're never good for anything, but I think they're also prescribed very liberally and they don't need to be. You can, I mean, I've illustrated this in my blood work videos that you can raise and lower your LDL cholesterol so easy. And hopefully for you, just stay consistent on ketovore. Your triglycerides are going to drop pretty quickly, especially if you incorporate some fasting. That's a really, really great way to get those triglycerides under control. But yeah, I would want to see a fasting insulin between 2 and 6. You want to have your fasting glucose 90 or below. Doctors will say 100, but 90 or below is better. And then let's see, A1C 5.4 or less. You really kind of want that to be 5.3, 5.2 or less. But A1C is interesting on carnivore. So yeah, that's that. Let's see what happens. I think you're going to see a huge drop in your triglycerides if you stay consistent on ketovore, for sure. Pamela is saying hello. Hello there. Sherry, 11 Light from California. Welcome, Sherry. Good to see you. Eva, hi, Jenny. Hello from England. Messed up my first effort. Hello. Welcome. Ruth. Okay, I've been doing this way of eating for 5 years, is it? Or 5 months, and I stopped taking duloxetine of 8 years. I have no pain at all. Also stopped, I'm thinking that's a torvastatin. That's wonderful. So it looks like you're getting off medications and not having any pain. That is incredible. Thank you for sharing that win. All right, keep it real. Canned sardines would paralyze me. The histamines would swell my joints, body like a drowned rat. That's not good. Yeah, if you have histamine issues, yeah, there's a lot of things that would give you some issues. Sherry loves sardines. I do too. Okay, Karen, this is a great question. My sardines are packed in sunflower oil. I'm still a little confused about that one. Is it okay or a bad one? That is a bad one. So just drain them and rinse them. Not a big deal. If they're your favorite sardines, just doing that will be fine. Sherry, I'm making my own butter and would like to use it for your meat chocolate bars. Do you think the tallow is important for texture? Okay, so if we're going back to the beef chocolate bars, so the thing about tallow is at room temperature, it just holds its shape better, whereas butter is kind of squishy, melty. So that's why it's technically a pemmican. It's like a chocolate pemmican. And tallow is typically used for that. Now, lately I've been doing like whipped tallow. And if you whip it with a hand mixer or with a KitchenAid stand mixer, wow, you can get it really light and airy. And then it's a little bit more melty. But yeah, just tallow on its own is going to hold its shape better. So that's why I use that. But I added butter to mine because I like the taste of butter too. So it's kind of both in there. So you can experiment and just kind of figure out which consistency works best for you. Okay, Rachel, day 2 of carnivore, already struggling getting enough fat. I should have planned better. Ugh. So here's the thing. In the beginning of carnivore, all you're trying to do is just get through, the keto flu symptoms and all that kind of stuff. Just eat until you're comfortably stuffed. If you want to track in the beginning and figure out, are you doing 70% fat to 30% protein? Okay, you can do that. But a lot of people just eat. Just eat the food. Just make sure you're getting fatty cuts of meat, really fatty cuts of beef. If you're going to do chicken, make sure you're doing with the skin on, bone in, chicken thighs, things like that. You can add butter to stuff. Bacon is a great way to get enough fat. Eggs are perfect. They have just a perfect macro mix. So it's okay. You're going to learn, as you continue on carnivore, you're going to figure out what works best for you. But with day 2, man, day 2 for me was a nightmare. I felt like crap. I was hard in the keto flu and the oxalate dumping. So Sherry, Jenny, you are the GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate it. Robert, I love sardines with a squeeze of lime or lemon and sometimes with a bit of chili crisp. That sounds excellent. I should try that. I should try that. Karen, down 8 pounds in 8 days. Wow, wonderful. After a 66-hour water fast, I am having some pretty serious back kidney pain. Can't seem to find any advice on that or anyone else experiencing this. So it could be a ton of different things. I mean, were you drinking enough water? Are you eating again and has the pain not gone away? I mean, it could be electrolyte stuff. Have you had blood work done to see how your kidney and liver function is? It could be so many things for sure. The average athlete, what do you recommend when looking for a doctor? My doc saw my creatinine at 1.31 and he was all in a fit. Oh, it's such a hard question. Good question. Very good question, but hard in our current medical system. Now, I am not a person that thinks that, all medicine is bad and all doctors are evil or anything like that. I think doctors go into this field with the very best intentions and really want to help people. The problem is the medical schools and the way our medical system is set up is just there to address symptoms. They're not looking at a root cause issue of anything. They prescribe drugs. I'm happy the drugs are available. I love that we live in 2024 and not 100 years ago where we didn't even have, antibiotics. But on the same token, I do not go to my doctor to get preventative advice. I go to a doctor if I have an acute illness, if I'm in need of a surgery, like a C-section or to set a broken bone or, to get antibiotics if I have a bacterial thing going, things like that. I'm not going to a doctor to ask them, how should I eat? They have they have no nutritional training. I think the average doctor gets like 20 hours or less of nutritional training. And then you also have to think about who's running the dietetics, schools in the United States. And a lot of them are run by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And the Seventh-day Adventist Church is all about vegetarianism. They want the whole world to be vegetarians for the salvation of our souls. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I personally, because I'm in this space, I have access to a lot of the low carb doctors in this space. There's a few places that you can look, and hopefully as time goes on, more and more doctors will wake up to the fact that low carb is kind of the way to go. But there's plenty of holistic doctors. I would start with holistic doctors. The SMHP is a good place. They have a provider directory that you can find providers in your area. Dr. Sean Baker just launched Rivero.com. Those are all low carb focused holistic doctors, real MDs and things like that, but with the correct focus, you could try that out. I know they have a waiting list. I'm trying to think of other ways. I don't have a doctor right now that is, fits with my dietary lifestyle. I mean, my cholesterol LDL cholesterol went up to 170. I think I was 6 months on carnivore and my doctor wanted to put me on a statin. And thankfully I was like, no, of course not. That's stupid. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I wish there were more out there that were good. It's very frustrating. Separately, what sauces do you recommend? Anything other than ketchup or mustard? So I do mustard. I don't do ketchup at all. Too much sugar. You could do a ketchup if you had like the no added sugar ones. I love Primal Kitchen sauces. So I do their buffalo sauce. It's made with avocado oil. Excellent. Tastes great. No vegetable seed oil, so that's good. I do, what other sauces do I do? I'll do a Worcestershire sauce on some things. That liquid smoke I'll put on like a pot roast or something. I'm trying to think of, vinegar. I don't think vinegar is a big deal. I'll use an avocado mayonnaise from Primal Kitchen. If I don't feel like making my own, I like to make bacon mayo for myself. Let's see. That's pretty much all I do. But check out Primal Kitchen. They have really good dressings too that are not made with vegetable seed oils. Mark Sisson is the owner of Primal Kitchens, or at least the person that came up with it originally. And I love all of his stuff. All of his books are amazing. So Sherry, I bought $400 worth of meat off of a meat truck yesterday and got quite a bit. Even got 4 ribeye steaks and tri-tips. A meat truck. Where? What's a meat truck? I want one. That sounds great. Sylvia just got on and wish it was earlier. Hubby is being told to go plant-based or Mediterranean diet due to his cholesterol. We want to go carnivore due to his joint pain. Okay. Yeah, plant-based isn't going to help with joint pain. I would say go carnivore for a month. And typically what happens is triglycerides drop drastically, HDL goes up, and blood glucose levels become low and normal. For most people, if you have some severe insulin resistance, you may need to throw in some fasting and things like that. But I mean, try it for a month. I don't think stay on whatever medications you're on or anything like that, but just try carnivore for a month and see what happens. A ton of people that go on that, especially with joint pain and stuff, their joint pain and all that stuff goes away within a couple of weeks, sometimes within a couple of days. So, I mean, try it for a month, see what happens. And, worst comes to worst, if it doesn't work for you, try Mediterranean. I mean, Mediterranean is all garbage too, because the Mediterranean has so many different countries around it. They eat a lot of meat in all of these countries that are around the Mediterranean. There's just so many different cultures around it that Mediterranean diet is basically an American. We created that. That's not a real thing. But yeah, try it. Try carnivore. I want to see what happens. Sherry, testing out all the meat on my channel to see if it's worth it. I love it. That's awesome. I love doing that. Hermias, am I saying that right? I hope so. I'm sorry. Question. On carnivore, sometimes my stomach hurts in the morning. I eat dinner 2 hours before bedtime. Do I need to move dinner to an earlier time? It's a great question. I would say experiment with it and see. Yeah, I'd like to eat a few hours before that, but it could also be what you're eating. I don't know what your version of carnivore looks like. And also, how long have you been on carnivore? That's a question, because that tends to even out after your first month or two. Dairy is a common issue. One thing you could do is just keep a journal or a note in your phone, whatever. Every time your stomach hurts in the morning, just jot down what you ate the day before. And then anytime it doesn't hurt, jot it down. Just do that for a week or two and see if you can identify some patterns, because sometimes it's just a particular food item. It could also be stress related. There's a lot of things it could be, but yeah, that's a good way to figure it out. All right. John, thank you so much for your super chat. Day 7 for me. I went to ABT, Apt. Yeah, love that store, and got a deep freezer. Man, deep freezers are a game changer. I have so much meat in my deep freezer that I am trying to eat my way through. We have 3 freezers. That's sad. What an American thing. Trying to eat my way through all of the freezers before I buy more meat, but then I keep finding these amazing deals and I buy more meat. It's crazy, but thank you so much. All right. JJ, I've been on carnivore for 50 days now. I do drink coffee with raw milk in the morning. Is there something to eliminate to see faster, better results? Yeah, I mean, dairy, even if it's raw, that'll slow down weight loss. Milk has a ton of carbs in it. I mean, if you're doing raw milk, that's like 12 grams of carbs for if it's whole, for 1 cup, 8 ounces. But I would need to know, did you take measurements? Are you just going off the scale? How do you feel? How are we measuring success here? That would be my question. You've been carnivore for less than 2 months. I really like people to be carnivore for at least 90 days to really start to see the effects. But there could be a lot going on. So much with that. But yeah, I would cut dairy first for at least a couple of weeks and see how that helps. Okay, we already did that one. Sherry, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Do you think sardines could cause issues with histamine versus fresh meats? Thank you so much. So it just depends on the person. You know, people that have histamine issues, typically avoiding aged cheeses and processed meats, aged meats, is highly effective. Some people that are really sensitive, they have to freeze their meat, fresh meat, as soon as they get it to stop the histamine accumulation process. Some people have to go to where the animal is being slaughtered and try to get it as close to when the animal is killed, to freeze it to stop the histamines in its track. Typically with histamines, it's some other root cause issue going on, mold, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, leaky gut. Those can all be common closer to root cause issues with histamine. So I've honestly never heard until today from our previous commenter about sardines causing issues with histamine, but it's not surprising. I mean, they're canned. Who knows how long that they've been in said can. So yeah, it could. It very well could. Who knows? All right, D-Lock. Just started 2 weeks ago. Still sleeping not the best. Yeah, you're still in the thick of it, keto flu-wise, for sure. I had I had sleep issues up until like week 5. Then it evened out. Throwing in some melatonin is fine. I do 1 to 2 milligrams of melatonin per night, and I sleep like a baby. A lot of people don't need to do any kind of melatonin or anything like that. Give it a few more weeks, and it should even out pretty well. But I empathize with you. You got to get your sleep. Ginger, hi Jenny, just got in. Hello, Ginger. Welcome, welcome. Sherry, I have to stay in medical ketosis, so my fat is sky high. Been feeling exhausted and thought it was oxalate. Maybe it's histamine. Thank you so much. It could be. Could be. It could also be thyroid. Fatigue. Extreme fatigue is one of the common symptoms of thyroid. That's always been my clue. I've had several bouts of extreme fatigue over the past, I don't know, since I had the kids. And turns out I had Hashimoto's thyroid. So it's probably worth it to get a full thyroid panel too, if you haven't done that already. All right, Mrs. Hooligan Fish. This is great. This is at Karen about the back and kidney pain. I get kidney and liver pain when I do long water fasts. I found that extra electrolytes and extra magnesium have helped out a lot. There you go. I have no idea what that one is. Okay. Sherry's asking questions about the sleeping. Are you having cramps? Says you can try to add butter before bed or electrolyte jelly, a jello for leg cramps. Sherry's doctor is an official carnivore and keto supporter. I'm working with him on a program right now. That's awesome. Yeah, if you could find a doctor that's knows, that's good. I mix drippings with sour cream. Ooh, that sounds good. All right, Sherry, for those that live in California, yeah, send her a message if you need a doctor that will monitor you on any carnivore diet. That's awesome. Great, great, great. Got lots of comments here talking within the chat here. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading through them. Do you have any recommendations of a deep freezer or refrigerator? I don't. We just got one from, where the heck did we even get her? I think we got our deep freezer from Costco. The garage freezer, the other 2 fridges have been here since I've been here, since Gordon and I have been together. So, all right. Keep it real, Mrs. Bacon. Yeah, that is one thing, if you're having histamine issues, that you will be missing for sure. I was just talking to somebody on a coaching call that has been making their own or just using pork belly instead. I don't know if that was an issue. All right, Kyle, my wife asked me yesterday, am I supposed to count my calories with this diet? And I told her no, but I'm double guessing myself. Should I be? Okay, you don't have to if you don't want to. But it is possible to eat too much on carnivore. It's possible to not eat enough on carnivore. So no, I wouldn't. If you're just starting, I just say just eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Try to eat at least twice a day. and get through the first month or two on carnivore and see how that goes. But if you then are running into weight loss stalls, not feeling your best, still having some issues, things like that, then I think it's worth it to track for at least a week and see, am I getting enough fat? Am I getting enough protein? Am I eating enough food? Because so many people, their appetite tanks on carnivore and they're like, oh my God, I tracked it for a week and I'm only eating 1,000 calories. That's not sustainable. So if you feel good, Kyle, no, you don't have to track. If you enjoy tracking, go for it. I track because I'm sharing with you guys here on YouTube, but I don't track all the time. But I do like when I track because then I can look back and like, what was I eating that day? I saw a weird spike. What did I have? Blah. And I can look back at my data. But yeah, so you play it by ear. It's only when you start running into weight loss stalls and issues like that that I think tracking is valuable. Or if you enjoy it, Bob, just a thought for anyone new to carnivore, have patience. Yes, preach. So true. I'm 2+ years into carnivore and it's great, but it took more than a few weeks to get there. 100%, Bob. Completely agree with you. I'm almost to my 2-year mark. I think that's one of the number one mistakes new carnivores make is expecting, amazing results in too short of a period of time. We didn't get to where we are today, metabolic dysfunction and all that kind of stuff with just a few weeks of eating the way we were eating before. It took us years and years and years and years to get there. Now, it's not going to take the same amount of time to heal, but it is going to take some time. It has to be a complete lifestyle shift. I don't think you need to stay carnivore forever. Some people feel their best on it, but I think, low carb, real whole foods, avoiding vegetable seed oils, avoiding added sugar and ultra processed foods. Those aren't real foods. You got to eat real food. So yeah, it takes some time. Definitely it takes some time. That's a good point. Keep it real. Dr. Barry gave the advice to just tell your doctor you're on a Mediterranean diet. Yeah, guys, you don't have to tell your doctor every little thing that's going on. When you go back to get blood work, and they ask, oh, wow, all your numbers improved. What are you doing? You're like, I'm on Mediterranean, Exactly. Why is it that people think we need to ask our doctors permission to not eat sugar? Again, doctors also have zero nutritional training, most of them. So you got to figure out what works best for you and your lifestyle, All right. Kyle is feeling amazing so far. Thank you. Awesome. If you're feeling good, I don't think you need to track. It's when you start running into issues, Kyle. So just keep up the good work. I'm not going to say this right. Pokua. How long does it take for blood pressure to drop? Been doing ketovore for a month now. My blood pressure has gone up slightly. Okay, so lots of different caveats to blood pressure. Your blood pressure, unless you're monitoring it 3 or 4 times a day and you're like intimately aware, yeah, it's going to go up and down and up and down and up and down. Make sure you're paying attention to hydration levels. Make sure you're paying attention to electrolyte levels. The first month is wacky on that, and it's going to be all over the place. Now, overall trend though is downward. It does take some time though. It does. And I talk to people that have been on carnivore for a very long time and they're still have a higher blood pressure because they still have some insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is the main driver of high blood pressure. So give it a little bit more time. Make sure if you're on medication to stay on your medication. You don't want to just go off of any blood pressure medication. I don't know if you're on it, but if you are, just continue to take it and give your body more time to adjust. But yeah, hydration and electrolyte levels can be really helpful with that as well. But if you are on carnivore, strict carnivore, like no cheats, no, stuff like that. For you, you said ketovore. If you're, really doing all the things and your blood pressure is still remaining high, what that would indicate to me is that you still have a very stubborn insulin resistance. And at that point, I would recommend incorporating some fasting. You really want to get those fasting insulin numbers under control. And that's kind of what's driving insulin resistance in the first place. Visceral fat, the fat that's inside your body around your organs, that can be a big driver for insulin resistance. So for you, you've only been on it for a month, so give it a little bit more time and work on the hydration levels first. And then After 90 days, we'll see what's going on. Black Swan, I'm feeling pretty good. Been doing it for 6 months now. Lost 4 stone. Wow, great job. More energy and need new clothes, but no rush. I feel you on that. I need to get new clothes too, but I hate shopping. I hate shopping for clothes. I hate it. Bob, LOL, yes, doctor talks is a thing. I actually tell my doctor the truth and just say no when he makes suggestions like statins. He's my employee, not the other way around. Exactly. Doctors work for you guys. You don't work for doctors. Oh, Sherry, you can chat as much as you want. I love it. I love that you guys can have some community and some chatting in the chats. It's amazing. All right, guys, we've gotten down to the end of our chats, and it is 3:11. So I'm going to go. We're going to do another one of these in a week. So be sure to join there. We also do these over in the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community. So if you want to join over there, you can join that. Links are in the description, both free and premium memberships available. And yeah, good to talk to you guys. I love doing these. I should do them more often. If I had more time, I would. I'd do one every day, but it's good to talk to you all. Thank you so much, and I will see you very soon.